She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA.
Rebecca Lobo's remarks on Caitlin Clark and the referees are so shocking that the WNBA executives can no longer ignore them. Because even though we just saw the most spectacular illustration of the Caitlin Clark effect after the WNBA's poor officiating in the Fever Sun game, the same officiating has the power to ruin the WNBA entirely. Rebecca, a WNBA icon, just sounded the alarm. This argument is not only logical. She revealed what several WNBA players are saying behind closed doors about the officiating situation. If we have learned anything, it is that the WNBA has learned absolutely nothing about how to handle its golden goose, Caitlin Clark. The league will not appreciate this, but it was necessary to say everything. Let us look at Rebecca's comments and the developing Fever narrative, which is both excellent news in many ways and raises serious concerns about the WNBA's actions. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video.
The second-year players clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on Stewie, and then watch the reaction with one another. Stewie's left.
Caitlin Clark's amazing comeback was just a few games ago. She scored 25 points in the first half, including 3 logo bombs in 38 seconds. It was an exciting period that also served to remind fans of what they were missing. It reminded everyone in the league of the true leaders.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark. 2 players with incredible up. Clark, another long 3.
The statement of statements was the game that made everything clear. The WNBA has more assets than just Caitlin Clark. It is up to her. When she missed those 5 games, it was not simply an error. They were an expose. There were less spectators. The level of social engagement fell. The level of interest in the country remained unchanged. Every WNBA story now seemed like background noise without Caitlin.
Here we go with Caitlin Clark singularly being missing for the time she was gone and ratings tanking 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power, you got it with this absence and then the way she came back.
Caitlin Clark's comeback helped the WNBA as a whole after weeks of declining ratings and mounting criticism. With a high audience of 2.8 million, their game against the Liberty was one of the most viewed WNBA broadcasts ever. In contrast, 2.5 million people watched the NHL Stanley Cup Finals on average. While it is true that basketball and hockey are not precisely similar, Caitlin Clark's recent victory in the final round of a century-old men's sports league is abnormal. Although WNBA leadership seems to have completely missed this, a topic we will address in a moment, Olympic gold medalist, Basketball Hall of Famer, and perhaps ESPN's most calm voice in the room, Rebecca Lobo, has not disregarded the importance of this. Before I get to her comments on the referees, have a look at her description of how seismic Clark's comeback was.
Rebecca, tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA?
I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention once again. We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just ridiculous.
Pay attention to what Rebecca Lobo said. People are observing once again. It is a little sentence, yet it says a lot. Because if they start watching again, it means they have quit. And we all know exactly when it happened. When Caitlin Clark was not present. Lobo did not stop there. She went on to explain why fans came back as soon as Clark returned.
there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep three after deep three after deep three. I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we seen players go on runs? Of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her.
That is the issue. These were not your usual lengthy twos or deep threes. These were logo bombs from a different zip code. Few, if any, athletes are able to accomplish it often and with such ease, which is why fans watch, even Natasha Cloud, who has not shown any consideration for Caitlin supporters. Recognizing the truth is necessary. You must defend her as soon as she crosses the middle. This is not normal. Please ask Rebecca.
This angle is wild, folks. There's the eye gouge. Watch Mabry. Boom! I mean, come on.
Everything that has been happening, not just since Caitlin's comeback, but actually the whole prior season, and this one as well, becomes quite concerning because we are no longer simply talking about missed calls or difficult defense. We are talking about a trend that has become so obvious that even seasoned WNBA insiders like Rebecca Lobo are speaking up. And the game against the Sun, which should have made everyone in the league shiver. For some reason, neither JCS Sheldon nor Marina Mabury were sent off after effectively tagging Caitlin Clark mid-aim with a body check to the court and a claw to the face. I am not lying when I say that Caitlin and JC were chirping a bit earlier. She was, but making fun of someone does not give you the right to assault them. You cannot expect the league to become as successful as WWE if you just knock its face down. Even the commentators were shocked. They could hear it in their voices. They were prepared for expulsion. The league as a whole responded in the same way. What happened shocked fans, coaches, analysts, and even players.
Hey, we would have been crashing our team.
Courtney, if somebody ever tackles you like that,
Nobody would ever tackle me like that. They would play with Bridget like that, and then we would have to like take it up there.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
Nobody would ever throw me like
If
that.
that ever happened, you better crash out behind me, because I'm crashing out behind you. We can share the same jail cell.
Caitlin's face claw and push, of course, went viral and became the talk of the town, but it was not an isolated incident of chaos. Tension had been growing throughout the whole game, but the officials were ignoring it.
JC Sheldon right here with an entire handful of Caitlin Clark's shoulder and bicep, and she's twisting it. Okay? I mean, this is wild. Here's the zoomed out look, the snapshot. I mean, this league does not have control of it.
Caitlin's face claw and push, of course, went viral and became the talk of the town, but it was not an isolated incident of chaos. Tension had been growing throughout the whole game, but the officials were ignoring it.
The game has changed so much. Players are faster, they're better, they're bigger, they're stronger. They're as good as they've ever been. They're as athletic as they've ever been. The game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better, except the officials.
That is the worst way to make fun of the refs without identifying them. While the rest of us are getting better, you are not. It is severe and goes right to the core of what many players, coaches, and fans have been going through. The issue is that this did not start with the Sun game. It has been expanding all season long. The harsh and unprotective handling of athletes like Caitlin Clark, the uneven officiating, and the missed calls.
Oh, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack. That's a hack. That's a hack. Oh my God, they hacked the one upon her and they hacked Caitlin Clark. They are both hacks. They are both hacks. They hacked Fever twice, and then there was a phantom foul called on Sabrina Ionescu.
From the start of the season, the Fever's lack of calls was apparent, but during their 90-88 loss against the Liberty, it reached a breaking point. A game that turned into a hot potato for players and fans alike. The officiating that night seemed prejudiced. New York was receiving ticky-tack fouls, while Indiana was unable to buy a whistle. The difference at the free throw line was evident as the Liberty accumulated tries while the Fever barely made it to the stripe. But what really incensed folks were the questionable calls, or lack thereof, in the final moments. The worst occurred at the very end. Caitlin Clark was not even able to take a shot on the last possession after Natasha Cloud flagrantly fouled her. AS playback after replay exposed it. Social media went crazy. Analysts disapproved of it. Supporters were furious. She went off with Stephanie White. Ironically, instead of screaming at the refs after the Sun game, she received a penalty for this. It seemed as if the league was quietly admitting its errors, as if they knew it was unreasonable. In all honesty, they should admit it. Because before we even talk about what Rebecca Lobo said, which is insightful and really dangerous for the league, we need to talk about the rising discontent inside the WNBA.
She got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing, that it doesn't go both ways, or it hasn't gone both ways.
Instead than disregarding players' complaints about hard play, the officials openly laugh at them. Let's go back to Rebecca Lobo and how Caitlin Clark is affected by all of this. Players are laughing and saying things like, "I am going to be harmed if this continues up." The conclusion is as follows. If Caitlin loses, the game is over. Everyone knows about it. The league, the players, the networks, and the fans, whether they will admit it or not. Rebecca, to her credit, did not sugarcoat anything either. She made the necessary statement in the most delicate way possible. But if you listen to what she says, it is far more concerning than you may think.
Second time where I'm attacking, it's very physical. I'm saying something to the ref, watch my landing space, watch physicality. I get laughed at, and it ends in my ankle getting turned. The same thing happened in Dallas, a flagrant that wasn't called. Same thing happened here. So my ankle is hanging in there, but it's starting to get very frustrating. I'm averaging less than 2 free throws a game, and I drive, I'm physical. I'm not someone who's avoiding contact. So I just hope that the safety of players starts to become a priority versus the ego of refs.
Have you grasped what she just said? She did not only say that some coaches are concerned. All of them, she said. Every coach she has talked to says that the officiating is a big problem. Things become considerably worse at this point. Because if every coach agrees that the officials have lost control, then have no option but to make changes. They will be subject to a new set of regulations. It becomes dangerous when the quiet one says, "We will protect our players if the refs won't."
It is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA, and all of them said it needs to get better. Specifically, the consistency, not only from one game to the next, but the consistency within.
That is all. It is like encouraging drivers to go as fast as they want since there is no highway enforcement, and you will fall behind if you do not speed, even if it is risky. Right now, the WNBA is doing precisely that. By refusing to raise officiating standards, they are creating an environment where players feel forced to be more aggressive, even if it is risky, since it is about survival. They also know that the referees will not step in. We have already seen the outcome. The clear fouls against Caitlin Clark, the cheap shots, the body checks, and the coaches and fans mounting irritation. And soon, when it happens again, it starts to seem more like a message rather than an oversight. The league appears to be suggesting that protecting Caitlin Clark is open season.
Coach told me we tell our players to be as physical as they can possibly be for 40 minutes because we know for 38 of them, they're pretty much going to get away with it. So I think everybody would like to see a tighter whistle and a little bit more freedom of movement.
And you see, I get it. Kathy Angel-Burt wants rivalries. She really said in an interview that players should not treat each other with kindness. And in principle, that is okay. Rivalries are lucrative. There could be a little edge to the game. But when it comes to Caitlin Clark, the WNBA does not need fake drama and filthy fouls. Therefore, this is a terrible mistake. They already have the most talked about, watched, and marketable athlete in women's sports. And we have the perfect example of why.
They just kept shoving Caitlin. They're like, well, they can't keep calling. They can't just keep calling fouls. I'm like, they're literally just running around hacking her. The referees have made it like a point that this is how you beat the fever. You hack them. You don't even, it's not being physical, you just hack them. Because the referees are going to allow them to be hacked. Late in the game with the fever, hack them. Not being physical, hack them. Don't go for...
Everyone talks about the ratings when Caitlin Clark is on the court instead of off. We know that story, but Sophie Cunningham's recent experience could be the most undervalued proof of the Caitlin Clark effect's actual strength so far.
That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard...
Sophie became well-known right away after defending Caitlin. Over 1 million people followed her on different media. The unwavering love of Caitlin's followers, her TikTok remarks, and their appreciation for her independence. Such as, I assume I am watching the WNBA now. The issue is that I really need a Cunningham jersey. It is not just about Sophie. This relates to a blueprint. Just as we have a clear example of the ratings drop in the absence of Caitlin, we also have a fantastic example of what occurs when you support her. Fans follow players who back Caitlin. They help their teams. They start watching the WNBA. Although it normally occurs slowly, it might happen suddenly. And none of it is feasible without Caitlin on the court. So share your thoughts on the officials or the rough play. There must be a cue.
As we expected, Sophie Cunningham has reached 1 million followers. 1 million followers. Sophie Cunningham on TikTok has gained, if I'm not mistaken, I think she has gained nearly 900,000 followers. It's at least 700,000. Sophie Cunningham on TikTok now has 1 million followers.
I am not against athletes making personal contact with Caitlin Clark. She is strong. She can tolerate interaction and is not asking for particular attention. But following her eyes as JCS Sheldon did is excessive. It is unrelated to defense. That has to do with trying to hurt someone. And that type of negligence does not only put Caitlin in risk when the target is the league's face, the person who generates media attention, ticket sales, viewership, and merchandising. It jeopardizes the league's future. It is not only dangerous, but also symbolically and physically naive. Candace Parker, a WNBA icon, said it best.
The Indiana Fever, they need to go hockey, and let me explain this. The great Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player in my lifetime, okay, all respect due to Gordie Howe and everyone else, but they had a rule in the National Hockey League, and I've heard quotes where defensemen have said, they were asked, hey, how come you don't nail Gretzky along the board? They said, no, we'll hit him. But they say, we'll never take a cheap shot, we'll never take anything unnecessary or anything too far, because we understand his importance to the league, and part of our paycheck we owe to him.
She is not asking players to relax. She is only expressing what any wise veteran would say. This is a business. Everyone's income benefits from Caitlin. We are not shielding her out of favoritism. Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind this rise, whether some players like it or not. Thus, it is critical to protect the investment. And if she collapses again, it will affect everyone.
I think that the WNBA as a whole is in an amazing place. Now it's about business to me.
Kathy Engelbert praised the league star by saying, quote, she's the most popular athlete in America. Not women's basketball player, not WNBA player, not NBA player, the most popular athlete in America.
Kathy is right. Caitlin Clark is not the only player who will shape the WNBA's future. She has the key to the future. Furthermore, if the league cannot figure out how to protect its most valuable asset from negligent fouls, inconsistent refereeing, and narrow-minded jealousy, they do not deserve what she provides. Because this is what happens when you support Caitlin Clark. The number of viewers rises, shirts sell out, more fans arrive, and the environment benefits overall. Media, teams, athletes, and sponsors. Rebecca Lobo made the necessary remarks, but the issue now is, are people listening? Because losing Caitlin might cost the WNBA more than just a game the next time. Please share your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.